Morning Glory host Matty Johns joins us for New Tech. G'day, Matty.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Oh, we're great.
We're going good. Now, Matthew, we got a new panel operator just filling in, Chris. Now, now he's 21. Yeah. He's going to Europe tomorrow with his mates. Wow. He's going for 4 weeks. No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 4 weeks, basically 4 weeks. I want to ask you, what was your first trip away with your mate? Now, not including a footy trip away.
Yep.
Where was your, just say 3 or 4 of your mates? Where were you going?
Fletch, me and a few mates, we first finished out of school, we're all on the dole, so we used to save our dole money. And at the end of the year,
do you remember what was the rock and roll worth back then?
Fletch, I think it might have been something like $80 a week, something like that.
Yeah,
it was and what it used to be so good. You line up. At Centrelink, it was called the CES then, and you just walk forward, and my mate worked behind he was a teller, walk up and go, "How you going, Matty? You applied for many jobs this week?" "Oh, heaps. How'd you go?" "I got none." "No worries." Right there, and they had you cash.
Cash?
Yeah, it was cash in an envelope. Yep. Oh. And away you go. And so we used to go up the coast, drive up the coast, just bludgeoning on people until we ran out of money, and then we came back. Now, our big overseas trip, myself, a fella called Jamie Forbes, who a lot of the listeners would know, who've played around country football a bit, one of the great blokes, Billy Peden, and a fella called Ian Williamson, my other mate. Our first big trip, we saved our dole money all year, and we went to Honolulu, right? Oh. So we had like the best time. But the final day, we bought tickets to go on an illegal boat cruise. It'll be out on Waikiki, and it was as much grog as you can drink while ever the boat is on the water while it's out there. Well, the boat broke down.
Oh,
right. So we're out there for an extra 2 hours, and we're just hammering the sauce, right? And we were all just 21, so we had to fly back that night. So anyway, what happens is we're just completely maggot, and we jump in a taxi to go to the airport. So we're going along anyway. Our taxi drivers. Next thing, this bloke in this hotted up car was just sitting right on our taxi's ass, right? And the taxi driver's blowing up, and he's like, and my mate Forbes, he goes, "I'll tell you what we'll do, mate. If you knock $20 off the fare, then if we get a red light soon, and he's there, I'll jump out and I'll give him a clip." And the taxi driver said, yeah, sweet, you're on. So wouldn't you know it, next to the lights, Forbesy gets out, he walks over to the bloke, and he's like, wind your window down. He went it. Forbes just gone douche, right? The bloke's gone down and come up with a baseball bat.
Oh.
And he's got out, and he's just wailing into Forbesy. So we've jumped out as well, and we're trying to fight this bloke off. So what happens is the taxi's done, because we're in the States, the taxi's done a long left, and he's waiting for us, right, over in the street there. So we're standing there rattled, and me and Ian Williamson, we walk across the road towards the taxi. And the two boys, Billy and Forbesy, are still standing on the median strip. The bloke just takes off down the road. Then obviously he gets 250 metres down the road and just goes, "Mate, I'm not going to let those blokes get away with that." Just hear this screech, right? And he turns around and he's heading back.
Round two.
And the boys just think he's heading back into town. So they're giving him the bird. And, mate, he just swerves, goes up onto the median strip and runs them over.
Oh!
Yep, at top speed. It was honestly an act of God that didn't kill them.
Oh.
When he hit them, they both sprayed either side of the car. And, people just come running from everywhere. Billy was out for about a minute. And one grabbed him saying, "Billy, Billy." And then Billy came through, and his opening words were, "Oh, Struth, I think I've just been struck." Right. So anyway, we back in those days, you had to go to the States, you had to stop off at Auckland. So the flight back, the boys had broken. Forbesy broke about 4 ribs. They both did their ACLs, and they had to sit on the plane that whole time. Right? We get off at Auckland. Oh, mate, the boys could barely walk. We got off at Auckland, and I remember Forbesy going. We said, "Forbesy, you got your surfboard?" He goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "Mate, remember, as we're leaving Hawaii, you were just maggot and bought a surfboard." So that was our first overseas trip.
You taking notes, Chris?
I don't think I can top that. start.
No, that's
you'll be surprised, Chris.
different times. Yeah, the Croats will love you over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is good. Speaking about youngsters, Brian, let's get into this. We have to do the Rising Star thanks to Struddies, Matthew. Look good, feel good, and play your best. Who's your Rising Star this week?
Look, Fletch and I just spoke. We speak about this bloke every single week, is Isaiya Katoa.
Yeah.
Just without a doubt. He will. I'll make the prediction. I think that when he retires, we'll talk about he's one of the great number sevens. He's just, his trajectory, he's just going through the roof. And he is, I reckon, he's in the top 3 ball players in the game right now. And the kid's only 21. He's freakish.
He doesn't have, he seems to doesn't have a flaw at the moment.
Yep.
Technically, he defends well. His kicking game's obviously very, very good as well. Is that a fair comment? What if Christian Wolf came to you, Matty, and said, "Listen, I want to get some halves training." What is there anything you see that maybe he could work on?
It'd be a very simple conversation. I'd say don't change anything and don't send him to me. I don't want to change any of his good habits. That's very, very simple. Is that just, mate, whatever he's doing in preparation or anything, just keep doing it. Just, he's a fantastic player.
How I know you and Luke Metcalf, because we had Luke on the show the other night. You two were talking about it. Now for the dumb forwards out here or listening on the radio, when you were saying it's hard to do, what is it that he does that you say it's very hard to do?
Fletch, it's very hard to compartmentalise two sides of your game when you're a half. Oftentimes you'll go into a game, and some games your running game will be really good. Then other games you'll organise really well and you'll play make really well. It's really hard to get both those sides of your game on. And when Metcalf when I saw him named 7 at the start of the year at Vegas, I went, oh no. You know, I think Andrew Webb's is underestimating how difficult this is going to be for him to be able to keep his running game and organise. And he struggled in Vegas. But looking back in hindsight, I mean, they're up against the Raiders, which is pretty good form, and the fact that his forwards couldn't get going for him. But since then, he's been able. He's a rare player in the fact that he is able to steer the side around the park, do all the things the coaches want, make all the players better, but he's lost none of his running thrust. And that's what's so difficult to do.
Speaking of him and that team, so my Rising Star boys for Struddies, I'm convinced this bloke's going to be a gun, an absolute gun. Sam Healy, the dummy half at the Warriors. And I'm interested to see how they finish off the year with him. He's had 2 games. Both times has killed it, absolutely killed it. Massive threat out of dummy half. So I don't know how they play this, the Warriors, but, geez, he's a good player. And the son of Mitch Healy.
Yep. And it wouldn't surprise me if he could be a smoky to play for England at the end of the year. He's eligible for England. He was born in Pontefract, which was it's a town in and around that Castleford area. So Mitch was over there playing for Castleford. That's where he was born. Wow. I'd be surprised if he didn't catch the attention of... Who's coaching the Poms at the moment? Sean Wayne.
Sean Wayne. Oh, you've got to pick this kid. He's going to be a gun.
Yeah, he's sharp
he'd be a good
pickup.
Oh, very good player.
Was he making noise in the... like Cronulla
No,
through?
mate. He was sort of had a couple of Brailleys in front of him at the time. So a younger one, Taj, and of course Blake.
What about Tim?
Tim, the Daily Braille.
Yeah, doing the Daily.
Mate, how good is mate? Oh, geez, I love Tim Bailey. So good.
That's great. Hey,
and his brother Boo, of course.
Yes,
Boo,
yeah.
Cartoonist. A lot of people don't know for the.
Is it a cartoonist or a caricaturist?
Oh, I think both, mate. He's a double threat.
He's a double threat.
We have Fox League up on the screen.
He's Luke Metcalf of cartooning.
Of cartooning.
Actually, we've got Tim Bailey now. He's just called up and he just wants to say this to you, Matthew.
Wow, woo-hoo, hooray for today.
There you go.
We have to chat about the Galvin stuff. What'd you make of all that? What a crowd, what a day.
Yeah, great day, wasn't it? Yeah, it was interesting what he did, Ciro, when put him on and the old Toby Sexpo, he went into dummy half, and you saw Reid Marnie look particularly downcast at full time. I saw him, and he'd be starting to feel like he's going to be the odd man out. I'm not saying Sexton will be a 9. My gut feel is that when Kurt Mann comes back into the squad and they're full strength, I've always sensed that Bailey Haywood some point in his career will end up in 9. It wouldn't surprise me if it's before the end of this year.
It's a hard one too because you can easily just say, right, oh yeah, Bailey Hayward, he's a half. It's the 40-odd tackles you've got to make in the middle too. Yeah. It takes a while to get used to that. So I remember when Craig Wing, when he came from 5'8", and Graham Murray put him at hooker and coming off the bench, obviously, he started him in a game and Wingy couldn't cope. So it's easier, obviously, to get to dummy half, but when you've got to make your 40-odd tackles, then you've got to chase. If they shift it, you're always running. So I don't know whether it's as easy as just plug and play with these blokes.
Yeah, I understand that, Fletcher. Mate, I actually had 12 months at hooker when I got to the Knights. I had 12, but they just decided that the Knights went, righto, we want our 9s to be almost like, halfbacks. We wanted to be a moving thread at a dummy half. So I was there for 12 months. I must say the first couple of months, you're spot on, Fletch. Mate, just the amount of defence and having to get to dummy half all the time, just all those factors. Oh, man, it was it was tough. But he's a tough kid, though, Fletch. You can see that in him.
Yeah.
He's got that grit in him that I reckon he'll get it done.
Hey, Matty, just on the Knights and the comments from AOB. Now, we've been over this, and he has come out and apologised. What did you make of the apology? And they're back at home. They're back at home. So what do you make of all that?
Yeah, I reckon it would have been better if he just come out and said, look, in amongst all the emotion of the win and everything, the Golden Point victory, I just, I spoke before I thought, and I apologised to everyone. But, saying that, I don't know if he said that he didn't hear all the booing and he was caught totally unaware by the question. But the most important thing, he did apologise. It was a crazy comment at the time. I know Blocker came out and said, he goes, when I first heard it, he goes, I thought this bloke's after a payout. But because, and I said on the show that night, is that you've got to understand, mate, like that those supporters up there, a lot of those people, they build their whole week around that football side. Actually, I'll correct that. A lot of the people up there, they build their lives around that football side. And look, he apologised. He knew it was the wrong thing to say. It was disrespectful.
Yeah. No, well, that's the thing. He's made up for it. And I like what he said. He said, look, hopefully I can win the trust back. So I think he is quite contrite about it all.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of the Knights, Jacko Hastings, Matthew, is back in at the 6.
Yes, he is. So that'll be him and Jack Cogger, striking partnership there. I'm glad to see it. Look, the thing about it is I can't remember really playing alongside anyone that I didn't like, and he rubs people up the wrong way. But if he gets the job done, it's about wins.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
Common
if
goal,
he's a pest, if he drives people mad, well, you've got to put up with it sometimes, just for a little bit and just for the greater good.
Look what Dean Ritchie does to all of us at Fox Loader.
Oh, mate,
I mean, he's rubbing me upside down, whatever he does. He comes up and rubs me up the wrong way.
Mate, it's
but literally, he comes up and rubs me.
What? Oh, mate, yeah. Oh, the old R&T King, him and Gordon.
Good on you, Matty. Well done.
The Kings. See you, boys.
See you, Matthew.
Warriors 40, Sharks 10. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, the Sharks, up until half-time, the Warriors went in 12-10. I thought this was going to be a great game. But the second half, it was a bit of a staring competition for a while, and the Warriors kicked them off the park. Their kicking game was great. As we mentioned, those two young tearaways on the edge. They do such a good job. Aaron Clark, the Sharks forwards couldn't handle him. He gets a quick play of the ball, and they immediately look to go to an edge. It's a great game plan. Sharks, disappointing. There's no other way to say it. Their halves, their kicking game, they were doing midfield bombs. I don't know what was going on.
No.
I don't know what was happening there, but it's this is 2 games in a row where they have, since they beat the Sharks, everyone's saying, oh, they're legit. And they were. They came out with a perfect game plan, but the last 2 weeks haven't been up to standard.
No, 40-10, and they take on the Dragons in the local derby this Thursday. So that's coming up quickly. Battle of the Big Cats. Panthers 18 defeat the West Tigers 14.
There we go, the West Tigers. We were keen on the Tigers, weren't we?
We were.
We were nearly there, but it was it was the usual suspects of the Origin players got him out of trouble again. Yeah, we're just looking at that late hit on Blaze Talangi. I don't think that was late. I don't think it was late.
What about this, Brian?
Hit me.
West Tigers sign Taylan May.
Yeah.
On a train and trial contract for the rest of 2025. 17 tries from 30 NRL games. If he gets firing, that's not a bad little wing combo or centre combo. He can play in the centres.
Yeah, and people were saying, the charges were dropped, so you can only go on what the courts have come up with. So a lot of people saying, he shouldn't be in the game. But look, he's got no case to answer for. He's come at a good time. They've got some money in the cap. I know he's there with his brother. They're pretty close, and they want to play all together. So, great signing.
Yep, absolutely. And, of course, there's a lot of people. Great debate, that game, the Tigers and the Panthers, with a couple of dubious Jerome Luai penalties, which cost the Tigers ultimately. The Panthers got 8 points off those. It was a late hit on Talangi and an escort on Liam Martin. Broncos, I love those jumpers for the Black Dog Institute. 44-14. They just look like winners in it, don't they?
It's not just the jumpers; it's the whole kit.
Whole kit.
Now I know they can't do it. I've done some research. You can't. You can have a one-off. You got to get the approval from the NRL.
So you can't trot in a grand final like that.
You can't do it. You need to tell the club, and they've got to go back to their original colours. So, but they did look faster, stronger.
Oh.
And the Titans just got caught in the barriers and didn't ever.
Oh, Jesse painted picture. They moved him to the right. Josiah Katapani, he scored 2. He was painting pictures with Jesse's brush. I was trying to think about the other player that the Dolphins have lost for the year, Brian. So Max Plath.
Yes.
Daniel Saifidi.
Yes.
That's the one.
He's definitely out for the year.
Yep.
Josh Kerr's going good.
And the other Canterbury player I forgot to mention who's coming back. So I said Satili Tupanua.
Yes.
And I said Jacob Preston.
He's back.
And then Upstream.
Salmon. He's, WGD.
Storm 38 defeat the Cowboys 14. Jerome Hughes was in an absolute mood. 2 tries, 2 try assists, 3 line breaks. He was dynamic. That's the Storm's 9th straight win at Amy Park. I've got to say, halftime did not reflect the scoreboard. Cowboys were in the fight big time.
Yeah, the Storm, they're not going as... I mean, they're 4th. I think they're finishing... I think they're, currently sitting 4th. So they'll get the job done, you would expect to be in the top 4. But, yeah, they've lost... I think they've already lost 6 games.
Wow.
Which creeps up on you.
Yep.
Creeps up on you.
Scotty Drinkwater had a shocking 10 minutes of game time, but geez, he bounced back. He's a good player, and I think he's in for a massive, massive week against the Dolphins. Let's cross over to the Northern Hemisphere, Brian, and Willie Peters, your little mate.
Yep.
6-4 over Warrington, Sammy Burgess. They, Hull KR, they showed their title-winning credentials as they beat Warrington Wolves. This is Wembley, of all places, to win their first Challenge Cup since 1980, a late try to Tom Davies. Their 3rd season under Willie Peters. What a job he's doing so far. He lost the Challenge Cup in 2023, lost the Super League Grand Final in 2024, but 3rd time's lucky because his 3rd big game at Wembley, he wins 6-4 over Sammy. The 2nd straight loss for Sammy, actually, the Challenge Cup there at Wembley for the Wolves. So there you go, Brian, and they're now looking to end a 40-year drought. Yeah. In the Super League / English First Division. Yeah, and I think that was the first trophy in about 40 years as well. So good on you, Willie. I mean, I might be a bit biased, but I feel he's done his apprenticeship. He's ready to come back here and definitely be an assistant with hopes to be a first-grade coach. I think he's got the right temperament for it, and you can see the players love him. I know it's a big jump coming from England to the NRL, but I really believe that he has the right temperament. He's quite calm to be a first-grade coach. What's the best course for someone like Willie Peters? Is it to stay there and win titles, or is it to jump back in here as an assistant? What would you say? I would say jump back here as an assistant. At a big club? At a big club. Yep. Well, actually, not at a big club. I just feel that we keep going back to they want experienced coaches, but at some stage you got to give a young bloke a crack. No, but we're not seeing too many cracks for assistants who aren't behind a winning team, do we? Like they all get anointed, like Webster, Penrith system, Serraldo. He was there. Yeah. Even O'Brien came through, Rolsey. They've all come through that winning behind a pretty locked and loaded coach. I just think he needs an opportunity. Whether it's the Bears, I think he would work well over there.
with Mel, or the Titans. Just some fresh ideas.
Did you say Mel? Did you say Mel?
I said Mel.
Do you think a lot of Queenslanders call him Mel Meninga?
They do.
Mel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm always asking. They all do it.
Yeah.
The further north you go,
the more Mel.
The vowel goes.
The vowel really goes. Can I buy a vowel? No, you can't up here.
It's Mel. And then I said to Gordon, I say, all right, we'll say Malibu. He says Malibu.
Oh, he does say Malibu.
Yeah.
Wow.
I say Mel blank. And he goes Mel blank.
Wow, okay. 1300 01 1170. We'll get to the boys very shortly. Sattler and Rogers. We do that for Struddies. You can look good, feel good, and play your best. Visit struddies.com.au. You were hitting me on the car, Brian, with your gym lanyard. Did you? Yeah. I see your bag packed there. Are you off to the gym tonight again?
Yeah, I'm off to the gym tonight. So I've got a big. So I'm looking at my brown belt in jiu-jitsu. So I've been working on this.
I saw that. Yeah.
And this is tonight is the big night where I go in there and hopefully wrestle the head off of someone to get my brown belt.
So how did you get to your brown belt?
Oh, you've got to, you start early.
Yeah.
So it goes white, then blue, basically white, blue, and purple.
Yeah.
Anyone can get them. You just basically turn up.
Oh, participation medal, is it?
Yeah. Actually, I to get to brown, I had to towel up 3 purple belts.
What, back to back? So they'd all just
at the one time.
Oh, the one time.
They were terrible.
Oh, right, okay.
So it doesn't really start until brown.
Yep.
I mean,
Sattler and Rogers
boys.
for Struddies. How are you, boys?
Hey, listen, Melbourne have only lost 4 games.
Sorry,
The
4.
Challenge Cup final was 8-6, not 6-4.
You're educating your listeners so well. Stick to the jokes, Fletch.
Hey.
Stay away from the footy.
Sorry, 4. Yeah, 4. They've only lost 4. They should have lost 6, actually. Maybe they got out of jail. But so I noticed. So you're a purple belt holder at the moment, Sattler.
I am.
Purple people eater.
Yeah, got graded last night.
Congratulations, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What did you have to do for the grading? Who did you have to choke out?
A couple of purple belts, a black belt.
Oh.
Yeah, so I text Fitzy, you're one of your premiership winning mates last night, because he's froths on jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah.
I texted him and said, look over your shoulder, I'm coming.
What's he? What's Fitzy? Is he a brown?
So he sent a picture of his belt back, which is a brown belt with 4 tips on it. So he's about 2 months away from being a black belt.
How long does it take? When did you?
A long time.
Black belt, 10 years minimum.
No, I mean you to get to purple.
Oh, purple, 4.
Okay, has
and
anyone?
we had COVID in there as well, so yeah.
Can anyone? What if someone was just born with talent? Do they still have to wait 4 years? What if they're just?
No, it depends on how often you're willing to be in the gym. Like do session every night, double sessions some days,
But if Payne Haas turned up and just took on a black belt
and beat
them, he's not walking out with a black belt.
No.
And he's not beating a black belt either.
He's not.
Oh, is he not?
No. There's a famous story down at Melbourne when Cam Smith went down there for one of his first pre-seasons and their John Donoghue, their jiu-jitsu coach, come in to do all their wrestling and chicken winging and stuff. And so they did the session, and he was going up against your Robbie Kearns, all these these older, more experienced guys. And Donoghue walked up to him, the jiu-jitsu expert, and said, "Oh, what belt are you?" He goes, "What do you mean, what belt?" He goes, "You got to be like you're blue, purple, brown belt. What are you?" He goes, "Never done it before in my life. Just an absolute natural at it."
Okay. And have you
tickets for protest?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going back to the Payne Haas comment, right? And boys, I'm happy to be proven wrong here, and I love Craig Fitzgibbon, right? And you played with him, and he's a warrior, Brian, and he's still a warrior. But are you telling me that Payne Haas wouldn't beat Craig Fitzgibbon?
Craig Fitzgibbon would choke him out within 45 seconds.
Wow.
Mate, I went and rolled with my son, he's a blue belt.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it for a couple of years.
Hang on, is this Rat or Carl
Yes.
Stefanovic?
Yeah.
What's happened to your voice, Rat?
And I rolled around with him.
Yeah.
And I had a flu last week. I don't know what's happened to it. I was just
Long
getting over it.
COVID.
And mate, he absolutely destroyed me. Destroyed me. And I literally went in there thinking, I know some stuff. I'll be right, but nah. Within 5 minutes, he'd choked me out twice and armbarred me once.
Wow. Protest
Who was
dismissed.
that? Who was that?
My son, Max.
Oh, heavy.
My autistic son. Yeah.
So it's all technique, obviously.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
bit like
yeah.
golf.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
Satch beat me this morning.
Beat
too.
Rat today.
in golf.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, no, he did. He had, what did you have, 34 points? I had 30.
Something like that.
Let's pull the Band-Aid off there. And Fruey, I agree.
You don't
Fletch,
pull it off, Brian.
I do. I'll pull it off.
You don't pull the Band-Aid off, and you don't put a ribbon through it.
This is what I do. I pull.
Okay.
I'm a mad puller from way back.
Heavy puller,
Mate,
HP.
I pulled this morning. I pulled this afternoon. My Band-Aid on now. I'm going to pull it right off now. Hey, Fletch, Fruey here. Ask Sats and Rat. What is the definition of pick and stick when it comes to Origin?
The
Definition.
Definition.
Pick and stick.
Well, I mean, it's probably a little bit similar to you guys. I mean, when things aren't going well, you got to move players around and you got to find your best makeup. Like you guys lost your a front rower and you had your captain sitting there fresh and Jakey Dorovic ready to come back in.
No, he got knocked out, so he was going to make the team.
Right.
He was going to make the team. But you got a bloke who's played 20 straight and you said, no, he's no good.
Just, Father Time, it's undefeated. I mean, he's been a great servant for Queensland and he'll respect the decision and move aside and he'll support Tommy Dearden in the role.
Well, it's easy to pick and stick when you win like 8 series in a row and drop one and then win another 4 or 5.
Is that what? That's what Queensland did. Like people who were born up there and go
it's
for
easy
the team.
to pick and stick.
Not the people who's going to. Listen, purple-headed warrior. What about
Grimace?
What about the chat that Nanai and Carrigan off the bench? I haven't. Is that true? Can't be true.
Well, it's been named. I mean, Nanai on the bench shocked me when the side came out. I thought he was our best. He was our best in the game. And he
I don't think the team for Queensland will be the same when it runs out.
No, I agree.
Nah.
I agree.
No.
Just going back to being the Purple Rain, the Sats, have you ever had to use it out in your job? So for the listeners out there who don't know, Sats has got he moonlights as well. Not only is he an award-winning radio host, he also does stakeouts. He's a private investigator. Have you ever been at a pub or at a shopping centre and someone's coming and you've just gone, whooshka, armbar? Have you ever done that out of the gym?
Yes, at a shopping centre. A guy was running away from a shop.
And what did you do?
I just tackle him and
then just subdued him.
And I held him in.
In what move? What do you call
it? Choke him?
Just had him in a little choke and just waited till the security turned up. And
it was poor old Todd Byrne just going to the brass go.
So what about if a guy is supremely strong? Supremely strong.
Yep. Use it against him.
Up against a guy who might be. Is there any black belts who'd be like 50 kilos, 60 kilos?
Well, my instructor's about probably 69, 70.
I reckon Maxi's in kilo. He'd be 55 kilos ring and wet.
55. So it's just all technique.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you use the strength against them.
Our old coach, a guy named Jason Roby, owns Axis here on the Gold Coast. He's a black belt. And I remember we had a session one day. You remember Big Matty White? Big bald-headed sort of front rower.
Played for Melbourne and Newcastle.
Oh, yep.
Mate, he's jumped him from behind. And within like 30 seconds, Jace had flipped him over and worked him out and choked him out.
Jace would have been 70 kilos.
And Jace was furious. He just turned around to the boys and goes, if any of you come at me from behind again, he goes, I'll break your arm.
Whoa.
Like he was that dirty. But he's like, I'll take any of you on front on. He said, but if any of you do that to me again, I'll break your arm.
Because
it stopped everyone pretty quick.
Okay, so if you were a young... sorry. Gosh.
Here we go.
Sorry. Who's the guy that doesn't like this? Who's the dirtbag? No, he's not a dirtbag. He doesn't appreciate it.
I don't know.
One of our listeners says, mate, I don't like this, dear Gerard. Well, guess what, mate? I'm doing it. Dear Gerard, I'm 19 and I work at the site serving drinks and snacks from a tiny kiosk at a famous theme park.
Ooh.
Up here in Queensland. A new supervisor joined our team recently and he is hot. He had to visit my kiosk every day, so I made sure I always looked good, and I went out of my way to be friendly. It worked. Soon we were flirting and texting throughout our shifts. One day, he asked me to stay late. I thought it was overtime, but instead he took me on a magical walk through the empty theme park. It ended with us climbing into one of the boats on a water ride and undressing each other. It was the best sex I've ever had. He was so confident, and I couldn't get enough of him. We started having sex 2 or 3 times a week. We'd find exciting new places to do it, like inside the Jungle Rush, the Claw, or in the control booth of the motor coaster.
Ooh.
Then, one morning, I was cooking nachos at work, and I couldn't stand the smell. I felt queasy and exhausted. I counted the dates and realised, I was late. A pregnancy test confirmed the news. I arranged to see my supervisor tell him, but he didn't show up. My manager later announced that he'd unexpectedly quit. That was 3 weeks ago, and I don't know where he is. I've sent countless messages and I don't know where he is. When I call him, it rings with no answer. I suspect I've been blocked. I've been frantic with worry and I still haven't told my parents. I'm so worried. Dear Gerard, I don't have a clue what to do. Help.
Ooh.
What happens here?
Rough one, that.
Oh, yeah, but hang on. Show some empathy.
Oh, mate.
What happens? What should she do? Could you track this bloke down? Because it looks like it's up in Dreamworld up there or something.
Yeah, the claw. I'm just trying to think where the claw is.
The claw's out the front.
Yeah, right.
It is out the front.
Dreamworld?
Yeah, Dreamworld.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean...
Now, this is serious.
CCTV, you'd be able to, figure out his movements.
Should we
do a facial
who's he running
recognition
around
of him?
with?
Okay, can she, if she doesn't have the dosh, would you do this for nothing?
No.
How much would it cost?
What is it an hourly rate for a stakeout or to
What's it going to cost this poor girl?
What is it?
I'm going to chip in.
It's going to cost for you, Fletch?
Yeah, it's
You
mates
signed a
rates.
Mates rates. It's going to be
deal.
It's mates rates. What's it going to be?
Got money.
What are you an hour?
for you, $90 an hour.
Done.
Beautiful.
How long will it take? How long would you think it'll take? for
6
you-
months.
Potentially a week.
Oh, gosh, you're good, Sats. You're a good man. You are a good man. Pity
Yeah.
you can't wrestle or whatever you do. Jiu-jitsu. All right, we're going to find this. We're going to.
Hey,
find this out.
what about Chris, the European dirtbag that you got there? That's going to.
Yeah. Do you want to have a chat to him? Ask
Well,
him
no,
anything.
I've spoken to him about it already. Like, it's just ridiculous. 4 mates. One of them's already got a girlfriend.
Where was your first
is
overseas trip?
Is that
boys?
the one? They're going away for like a month, aren't they?
Yeah, going to the Test Championship on Wednesday.
Oh,
Boys,
look out.
we asked Matty what his first trip away was with his mates. What was yours?
First trip away was to Airlie Beach.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yep.
the foam party?
It was the opening of the Hog's Breath Cafe, 1990.
Cancun.
Oh, the saloon.
Is that the rugby? That's the rugby coming out, yeah.
No, Cancun. That was
They got a nightclub over there. Used to have a-
1990,
used to have a water
1996.
slide.
Yeah, Senor Frogs.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Senor
Yes.
Frogs. That's when Rico, this bloke walked in with a monkey, and I'll never forget it. This bloke had a monkey on his shoulder. Rico, I can't tell you what he did.
Lachie had a monkey. Lachie hired a monkey in Bali one year, didn't he? In a season trip.
Yeah, you got to be
scratched
careful
all
of
his
those
head.
monkeys.
Mate, they
Scratched
do.
his
Monkeys
hand.
will take your face off.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not even purple
100%.
belts.
Oh,
No.
Boys, we're going to have to let you go because
Oh.
Queensland...
Have we padded enough for you?
Yeah,
Have we?
you've got to be.
Yeah,
We
thanks,
filled
man.
your show up for you.
Thanks.
No worries.
thanks, lads. And as we said, it was 8 points to 6, wasn't it, Brian?
Yes, and guess what? Storm have only lost 4 games.
They have.
They are flying at the
Yes.
moment. And
Have
you
you-
won't
we got
help
the-
this poor girl who's been porking on the claw or in the control room of what? The moto coaster.
Very well.
And she's making nachos at work. Well, that's one reason he's left.
That's right. Hey, boys, Wally Lawson tonight.
Yeah, the king.
Yeah, the king.
How good.
Champion he is. Yeah, he's so
King's
good.
birthday.
Really good. Yeah.
good.
What are you going to ask him?
Do you like Munster being captain?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I like it.
It scares me.
Yes,
We'll get
exactly.
into the king, see what he thinks. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I reckon he'll love
be
it too,
right
Brian.
You know
behind
what
it.
he needs
Yeah.
to do? You know how some people have when their hair... What was it? Was it Samson who had the long hair?
Yeah, yeah,
and he was
yeah.
Yes.
super strong. I think Munster's the other way. He's got to go back to the crew cut.
Yeah,
He's
right.
playing with his hair too much.
Get into him.
Nico too. You got to shave your hair off,
Yep,
Nico.
love that.
Get in the trenches and shave your head off.
Good on you, boys.
So, boys,
Where's he on today?
I don't know. Who knows what I'm doing?
See you, lads. See you later.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.